Let's bring in now Dan Moulthrop. He is the CEO of the City Club in Cleveland, where the president will be speaking in a few hours. So, Dan, thank you so much for joining us, and tell us what you're hoping to hear from the president today.
Brianna, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for your interest and for inviting us. We are hoping to here's the thing. He's the president, and we want to hear what's on his mind. The City Club of Cleveland has welcomed Presidents Reagan, and we had George H.W. Bush several times, but when he was a vice president and a presidential candidate, and we've had Clinton and George W. Bush, and we have a tradition of really strong engagement. And so, whatever's on the president's mind, that's what our community and our audience and our membership wants to hear about and wants to talk to him about. But the best part of the City Club program for me, personally, is the Q&A. And there's always a Q&A, an unscripted, live unscripted Q&A with the audience. So it's really not about what I want to hear from the president, but what our members want to ask him. And that's going to be a very exciting part in the second half of the program.
What do you think is on the mind of folks there in Cleveland? What do you think in that Q&A session they'll be asking the president?
We have a highly engaged audience who really, they pay a lot of attention. And boy, have they been paying attention over the last 4 or 5 days since we announced this on Friday. I think that the economy is huge here. It's a really big issue. Cleveland was out of the recession slower than most other regions. And Cleveland was in the recession. There was a recession back in 2001 that Cleveland really never came out of. Where the president is speaking today is virtually the same location that he spoke in 2008, just before he was elected, on the Sunday evening. And in the intervening years, there's a brand new convention center, and that's somewhat symbolic of the economic growth that our city has undergone, and the transformation of the city. I mean, there are cranes in the sky now where there weren't for 5, 6, 7 years. So people really care deeply about the economy. They're going to be asking, I'm sure, about jobs, about manufacturing. We're still a very strong manufacturing town. They're going to be asking about, I'm sure, the things that come up all the time at the City Club have to do with education and the articulation of workforce development needs all the way through the P16 continuum. Those are the sorts of things we talk about a lot in Cleveland and in Ohio, and I'm sure they're likely to come up here.
And I am sure they are as well, Dan. He has talked about the House Republican plan, what he sees as a failure to invest in education, in infrastructure and research, among other things. So no doubt he'll be bringing that message to Cleveland as well. Looking forward to seeing the Q&A. Dan Moulthrop for us from Cleveland. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Brianna. Have a great day.